Open Heavens on the Go, Friday, August 25th, 2023. Topic: The Blessing and the Blesser. Memory verse: Luke 12:15. And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. Bible reading: Deuteronomy 8:11-20. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, lest, when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou say in thine heart, My power and the might of mine hand had gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto thy fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day, that ye shall surely perish. As the nations which the Lord destroyed before your face, so shall ye perish, because ye will not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God. The message: If I were to ask you, which do you consider more important, the blessing or the blesser? You are likely to say it is the blesser. However, there are millions of self-professing Christians around the world today who prioritize God's blessings above the one who blessed them in the first place. When you begin to choose your job over God, you are prioritizing the blessing over the blesser. I want you to do an honest check within yourself now. Which one have you been prioritizing? The blessing or the blesser? The unfortunate thing about prioritizing the blessing over the blesser is that the blesser can withdraw his blessings at any time. In 1 Samuel 16:1, God told Samuel to stop pleading on Saul's behalf because he had given the throne to someone else. In Genesis 48:20, we see how Jacob blessed Ephraim above his older brother Manasseh. Ephraim eventually became 10 times more successful than his brother, Deuteronomy 33:17. However, when success came, Ephraim forgot God. Psalm 78:9-11. God kept sending prophets to Ephraim, but he refused to listen to the blesser. After some time, God said, Let him alone. Hosea 4:17. By the time we get to Hosea 5:9, God said that Ephraim would be desolate. Ephraim lost his blessings because he prioritized them above the blesser. When success comes, don't forget God because He has the power to give and to take away. When I became general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, I decided by faith that God will feed everyone that came for our annual convention. One of the young men, who was a baker, said he would provide the bread for breakfast. He later on changed his mind and decided not to supply us with bread as he had promised because he didn't like a message I preached. God, however, sent help to us and we were able to purchase the bread we required. Years later, my baker friend appeared at my house very early one morning. I said, "What can I do for you? You came very early." He said he would have come earlier, but one of his tires got flat and he didn't have a spare. This was a man who used to have numerous cars. Now, he didn't even have a spare tire because he placed the blessing above the blesser. Beloved, focus on the blesser and not the blessing. Key point: God is more important than all the riches, great positions, and blessings in the world. Never forget that. Bible reading in 1 year, Ezekiel 5 to 8. Hymn for today: Praise to the Lord, the Almighty. The Open Heavens is written by Pastor E. A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. God bless you.